Yashodanandana Bhajacharanandana Yashodanandana Bhajacharanandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayaradhamadhava Kunjabihari Jayaradhamadhava Kunjabihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'll get it working. Just the microphone's good. Hare Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Om Vishnupa Paramahamsa Paripajagacharya Ashtutara Satasi Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaja Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kao Sri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhana Ki Sri Mathura Vrinda Dham Ki Sri Mayapur Dham Ki Gangamai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Gaura Pramanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 17, text number 250. Repeat after me. Shuni Prabhu Krode Kaila Krishna Dosho Kara. Okay. So, Prabhu didn't read. Okay. Krishna Nama Nailokene Krishna Nama Dhanya. Gopi Gopi Baileva Kibahaya Punya. Krishna Nama Nailokene Krishna Nama Dhanya. Gopi Gopi Baileva Kibahaya Punya. Krishna Nama Nalalakene Krishna Nama Dhanya. Gopi Gopi Baileva Kibahaya Punya. Prabhuji. Krishna Nama Nalalokene Krishna Nama Dhanya. Gopi Gopi Baileva Kibahaya Punya. Krishna Nama Nalalokene Krishna Nama Dhanya. Gopi Gopi Baileva Kibahaya Punya. Mataji's. Krishna Nama Nalalokene Krishna Nama Dhanya. Gopi Gopi Baileva Kibahaya Punya. Krishna Nama, the holy name of Lord Krishna. Na, not. Lao, you take. Kene, why. Krishna Nama, the holy name of Lord Krishna. Dhanya, glorious. Gopi Gopi, the names of Gopi Gopi. Baile, on saying. Va, or. Kiba, what. Haya, there is. Punya, piety. Translation. Why are you chanting the names Gopi Gopi instead of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which is so glorious? What pious result will you achieve by such chanting? Purport. It is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudha Vikena Bhujaya. No one can understand the activities of a pure devotee. A student or neophyte devotee could not possibly understand why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting the name of the gopis. nor should the student have asked the Lord about the potency of chanting Gopi Gopi. The neophyte student was certainly convinced of the piety in the chanting of Krishna's holy name. But this sort of attitude is also offensive. Dharma prata tyaga hutadi sarva subha kriya samyam api pramadaha. To chant the holy name of Krishna in exchange for the achievement of piety is an offense. This, of course, was unknown to the student. Thus he innocently asked, "What piety is there in the chanting of the name Gopi?" He did not know that there is no question of piety or impiety. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna or the holy name Gopi is on the transcendental platform of loving affairs. Since he was not expert in understanding such transcendental activities, his question was merely impudent. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, apparently greatly angry at him, reacted as follows. Om Magyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. First of all, I humbly ask blessings of senior Vaishnavas present here so that I can speak something beneficial. I'm definitely not qualified to speak on Caitanya Caritamrita, but at least let me start with my personal connection to Caitanya Caritamrita and glorify this amazing book. So my first connection of this book, Caitanya Caritamrita, was my conversation with Ajita Prabhu many years ago. I was very new, probably after I joined 2 or 3 years. And I was asking him questions because I was struggling with my English at the time, still I am. And especially I was having trouble with the pick-up subtlety when I was conversing with other devotees. Mostly I couldn't understand the Australian joke. So I was asking Ajita Prabhu, how can I pick up the subtlety or hidden meaning or nuance when I speak, when I communicate with the devotees? And surprisingly, instead of giving me like practical advice, he advised me to read Caitanya Caritamrita. And I couldn't ask him further. I just accepted as it is, because I also felt need to read Caitanya Caritamrita at the time. I haven't started reading the book by then. I was just attending the class. So that's how I begin to read seriously of this book. And it took me many years to understand what the meaning of it. So, Caitanya Caritamrita is basically pastimes and the teachings of Lord Caitanya. And Lord Caitanya, what did he do? He introduced love of Godhead and made bhakti more accessible and relatable for us. And not only that, he also brought us spiritual culture, which is favorable to cultivate our bhakti. And this spiritual culture is actually full of subtlety. So I like to share one pastime from Mahabharata, which is quite relevant of what I'm speaking. So there was a king called Shantanu. I think he's ancestor of Dhritarashtra, Kuvara's father. And in his previous life, he was known as Mahabhisha. And he attained the heavenly planet after performing so many yagyas. And he was present when those celestials were worshipping Brahma. And there was Ganga as well, who was the daughter of Brahma. And all of a sudden a wind blew and it uncovered the veil of Ganga. So Ganga was exposed, some portion of her body and her face and hair. And as etiquette, all the assembly bent their head to avoid to look at her, except for Mahabhisha, who was gazing at her with lust. And Lord Brahma detected the lust of Mahabhisha, and he kicked him out of heavenly planet and cursed him to born mortal in the material planet, saying that because lust is not really fit for the heavenly, the higher planet. Actually, lust is predominant quality in the material world, so you better go down there. So he kicked out of heaven and take birth as Shantanu on the earth. So it sounds a bit extreme if you think about that, isn't it? But there's a similar pastime in Caitanya Caritamrita. There's a famous story on Chota Haridas. He was looking at a young girl, he just looked at her. Didn't do anything, just looking. But Caitanya Mahaprabhu cut him out of his associate. And as a result, he committed suicide. So it also sounds too bit extreme. But the main thing is that Caitanya Mahaprabhu saw the lust, the cause, the root of his action, looking at the girl. Because Mahaprabhu saw the subtlety, the lust within Chota Haridas, and that was the main thing, he saw it. So that's the devotee's life, isn't it? Devotees, we practice to always check our lust, pride, and anger so that it doesn't manifest external level. So I'm finding also myself, the more I practice spiritual life, the more I'm tuning to these subtleties, especially Guru. And Guru is especially more tuned into this subtlety because he's representative of Super Soul. And he can even detect the subtlety, what's going on in the mind of their disciples. And I was seeing my Guru Maharaj once a year when he was regularly visiting here. And I could see that my spiritual master could see what I have done during past years just by looking at me. He's just responding by his face. He could see that, what I have done. Because he's really tuned into this subtlety. So, Caitanya Caritamrita is actually a lot of this food, like a lot of this subtle exchange between devotees and Lord Caitanya. And also Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of these subtleties, subtle exchanges. But for us, Caitanya Caritamrita is more relatable because its setting is on the earthly realm. Indeed, Krishna came to this earthly planet as Lord Caitanya with all associates in the Bengal area, Navadvip. So Devaki Mataji also mentioned a lot of time actually through her writings in her speech. She often said that Bangladesh is actually one of the rare place, could be the only place where spiritual culture is well preserved. He even actually said that the place is actually almost replica of spiritual world. I also personally experienced that because in Korea there are many devotees from Bangladesh, and I observed them. They are very, very respectful for everyone. Like once you enter the temple, if you are a little senior to them, they would like touch your feet and offer you a lot of prasadam and offer you sweet words, taking care of you so nicely. So, by learning Caitanya Caritamrita, we are tuned into this subtlety, this spiritual culture of respect and try to check our subtle things going on in our mind. So by learning Caitanya Caritamrita, and the more we learn about Lord Caitanya and understand his desire, we increase our desire to serve him. And another benefit of learning Caitanya Caritamrita is that by entering into the pastime of Lord Caitanya, we can enter into the pastime of Lord Krishna. Actually, by approaching Lord Caitanya, we can approach the most difficult rasa, which is Madhurya rasa. And His Holiness Kadambakhanana Swami said that there are two kind of rasas. One is Sambandha Rupa, which includes Shanta ras, Dasha ras, Sakya ras, Vashala ras, and Kama Rupa, which is Madhurya ras. And the Madhurya ras translate into conjugal loving relationship, can resemble lust because it's intimate relationship with men and women. So therefore, Kama Rupa is difficult to understand for us because we don't have that love for Krishna. For example, children can't understand the conjugal relationship of adults. It's just beyond their capacity. Their intelligence and their body is not developed to understand that. Similarly, because we are not in the level of love, so we try to understand that rasa through our own experience. So therefore, that rasa reminds us our erotic movements in the material world. So it's very dangerous to approach directly to Kamarupa Madhurya ras. And even if you are trying to go there, His Holiness Kadambakhanana Swami said that we won't be satisfied. In most cases, we will, because it's not enough to satisfy our spiritual hanker, we will end up satisfying our senses. and start to look for sense gratification, and that is beginning of Sahajaism. So it's dangerous to go this aspect of bhakti without having the actual love for Krishna, because our love is so conditioned. So, because it's still direct to material things. But if we simply go into the pastime of Lord Chaitanya and simply serve, serving here means Harinam Sankirtan, by congregational chanting and engaging others to chant with proper service attitude and doing something for Lord Chaitanya, do something to push on this movement, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will bring us to Krishna. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya always recommends us to be servant before be lover of Krishna. That is the safe way. And eventually, this hopeful message, eventually by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, the other rasas will be awakened. So, when I was in Vrindavan, as many people notice, in the middle altar we have Radha Govardhana, but in Vrindavan, interestingly, the main altar in the middle is Krishna Balaram. And the reason is that because Krishna Balaram is non-different from Gauranitai, and without Gauranitai, we can't approach Radha and Krishna. So that was Prabhupada's intention. So how can we enter into Vrindavan? By the mercy of Gauranga. And how can we get the mercy of Gauranga? By serving Nityananda. And how can the mercy of Nityananda? By preaching Jagai and Madai. And that's what Prabhupada did. So through Krishna Balaram and through Gauranitai, we can enter into Vrindavan. So for the rest of the class, I'd like to elaborate more on the meaning of sannyas as addressed in this verse. So in this verse, Lord Chaitanya was calling Gopi, Gopi, and a student questioned him because there is more benefit of chanting Lord Krishna. So why are you chanting Gopi, Gopi? And actually that attitude is considered offensive because you are seeking for the benefit of your chanting. According to Prabhupada's purport, to chant the holy name of Krishna in exchange for the achievement piety is an offense. So in order to teach a lesson to this student, later in the next verse, 250, Lord Chaitanya almost tried to strike him with a stick. And then later on, the party of the student tried to strike him back to Lord Chaitanya, which is like huge offense. And that's the reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to take sannyas. So I'd like to elaborate more why Lord Chaitanya took sannyas. So one reason was that so that people would not commit offense to him. And because sannyas was considered a very, very respectful position, so if he took sannyas, people wouldn't commit offense that easily. That was one reason. And similar way, it is said that if you pay obeisances to sannyas, your sinful, your karma will be reduced. Your sinful karma will be purified. So by Caitanya being a sannyas, people would pay respect to him. So by doing that way, Lord Caitanya will purify them. There was another intention. And actually when I heard that first time, I was in Vrindavan and there are so many sannyasis there. So yeah, I remember that I was happily pay obeisances to them. And yeah, hopefully they can purify my sinful karma, which is not really pure intention, but yeah. Because sometimes before then, I feel reluctant to pay obeisance. Is he gonna look at me, or the floor is wet, should I do it or not? But after this knowledge, I was happy to do so. Luckily, we have Mukunda Maharaj resides in this property, so that we can always pay obeisance and respect to him. So Lord Chaitanya's intention to take sannyas wasn't for his own gratification. It was for us to be purified. He wanted to help us. And the second reason Mahaprabhu took sannyas was to establish authority, because Lord Chaitanya was still young, and he was people looked down on him being sentimental and not so experienced. So if he took sannyas, he's established. His speech will have more weight and respect, so that people can listen. His Holiness Kadambakhanana Swami also said that sannyas provides platform from which they can publicly start interacting as a much more prominent spiritual leader. Because taking sannyas is such a serious vow, so you will get more weight and heaviness in your influence. And another meaning of taking sannyas is you can attain full renunciation. The sannyas literally means full renunciation. Full means san means full, and yas means renunciation. So it's actually committing social suicide. It's a heavy expression. By taking sannyas, you are socially committing suicide, and you are finishing your worldly life. And there's interesting custom in the village of India. When someone takes sannyas in the village, the sannyas will go out of the bridge and he will draw the line, and then he never crossed the line again, never ever again. So there was a part of ceremony. And another main duty of sannyas is to travel. It's definitely not for his enjoyment. He travels so that he doesn't attach to one particular place or situation. Also, don't attach to particular set of people. That way he remains free to simply focus on giving Krishna and worship Krishna. So sannyas, by attaining full renunciation, he doesn't actually give up everything. He actually gives up using things for the pleasure for himself. Actually, in many sannyasis in ISKCON, actually we can see that they are very actively engaged in the worldly affairs. For example, some sannyasis make a lot of money, and they have a lot of influence on social media. They have fame, and they deal with things with the world. But the difference is that they don't use it for their own benefit. I heard about Gopal Krishna Maharaj who recently left his body. I was his funeral and memorial in Vrindavan, and I heard a lot about him. One thing that impressed me was that he built a lot of temples in India, especially in New Delhi, and he also built a lot of Govinda's restaurants. But he never ate in there, although he established a love restaurant for us. Because he built all these things for benefit for others. So, little reflection on meaning of sannyas. And I'm gonna end today's class. If you like to add more, or if you have a question, any corrections, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks for your class.
Thank you for coming.
So many people may not externally be able to take the renounced order of sannyas, even though they may desire to come to that platform, but it's not a cheap thing and not easy to get to that platform. But Prabhupada says in different places in his books that it's not necessary that you have to take sannyas, that if we can be fully Krishna conscious in all circumstances, even in the Grihastha ashram,
Yeah, definitely.
then it's a state of consciousness. Sannyas is also more a state of consciousness. Like someone may externally put on the garb of sannyas, but internally they may be elsewhere in their consciousness also. Like in the early days, a lot of devotees took sannyas and they were I believe in Vrindavan, and a lot of them were thinking, now that I'm sannyas, I should be chanting 32 rounds a day, 64 rounds a day, like that. And Prabhupada said, you cannot chant more than 16 rounds a day. You have so much work to do in spreading Krishna consciousness, so much practical service. And Prabhupada said, if you try and chant more than 16 rounds a day, then you'll just think of money and women, even in sannyas ashram. So is it, my question would be, can we all be in that state of sannyas, like sort of detachment from the world and full Krishna consciousness and fully engaged in Krishna service? Is that possible for everyone? Even though externally we may not be in the garb of sannyas?
As you addressed that, sannyas is not just external platform, and I said last time, as a last point, I addressed that sannyas is not about giving up things, but giving up the kind of mentality, giving up the taking things for myself. So with that mentality, that is the main dealing, the sannyas, how sannyas deal with the world. So as you said, with the mentality, we can be in the mentality of sannyas, although we are in the platform of grihastha or other ashram, but we can maintain the mentality of sannyas internally So, is it answering your question? So I try to address again. The main thing is that not giving up everything, but giving up the mentality of taking things for my pleasure. Because sannyas still deal with the world a lot, but not with the mentality for himself, but for others. Like building so many restaurants for people, but not for him. Yes, I hope that was enough. I hope I understood your question. I mean, is it okay? Anyone else? I just wanted to address, I was put emphasis on sannyas because sometimes some people think that sannyas is kind of automatic thing after finish vanaprastha, or sometimes people see sannyas just with robe but not really seeing what's the actual meaning of sannyas. Actually, it's really serious ashram, so we should pay like more respect. I just wanted to remind myself as well. Any comment or correction, questions? Otherwise, I will end here. Thank you all for coming. All praise to Srila Prabhupada.